Hi there, welcome into Let's Draw. How are you? Thank you very much for joining in. Today we're going to draw, we're going to do a little bit of drawing, a step-by-step drawing, so feel free to participate. You're not going to need a pencil or anything like that. Just grab a Sharpie, maybe a fine liner as well, and we'll get on with some drawing in a few seconds. Okay, but before we start, let me introduce my comrade and chief dog in the chair, Joff NFT. Hi Joff, how are you, mate?
Yeah, pretty good, thanks. Yeah,
Excellent
not
stuff.
too bad at all. It's had a bit of a whirlwind day.
A whirlwind day.
Yeah, it's all good now. Yeah.
It feels like it's been ages since we've been on. We had like a 2-week break, haven't we?
Yeah, 2 weeks. I mean, in the meantime, I've been on holiday, took the kids to a theme park. Yeah, I don't know what you've been doing.
I've been working, mate. But you know,
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I'm really happy for you, and I mean that. That's really nice to take a. It's always important to take a little bit of time and spend it with the family. It's so easy just to get kind of dragged down with like working all the time. So excellent stuff. I'm glad you've done that. Any new news? What's been going on in Web3, Web2, anything like that that we need to know about?
I don't think there's anything really. Nothing kind of groundbreaking. It's just the usual grind. Yeah, I actually came back onto it on Monday. Saw I had like hundreds of notifications and just ignored them all. So I've no idea. It could have been good, could have been bad.
Just just leave them all alone. I like putting you on the spot with little questions like that. Thanks to
I could do research.
yeah,
I could come prepared one week.
yeah, just 1 week. You know, maybe 1 week when like
Yeah.
that whole Web3's like crashed. I won't even bother asking what's going on.
Yeah.
Ooh, can you not? So crypto soup. Crypto soup, is that a new name?
That's Crypto Stew.
Yeah. You can't hear me, Crypto Stew, but I can see the little green thing kind of highlighting around me, so it should be sending you some audio, mate. Anybody else in Discord? If you can't hear us, let me know. I'll try restarting Discord, but we are going to start in a few seconds. Just going to wait for a few more people to drop in. Just get into the comments. Let us know where you're watching from. If you're out there and you're watching, you're going to join in. Even if you're not going to join in, let us know where you're watching from. Today we're broadcasting on Abstract, so if you want to send tips or support what we're doing, go over to Abstract. We're also on YouTube, Facebook, in our Discord as well, and on X. So we're pretty much everywhere. If you're interested in finding a little bit more out about what we're doing, just you see that little email address, that little URL just there. Just head over to that. And I'll tell you everything you need to know, from like how to support what we're doing, how to get involved, how to claim digital art. So every now and then we do a digital art giveaway as well. So it's all in there. Yeah, Crypto Stew can't hear us. He's probably got his mute button on or his volume turned down. Cool. Who was that? Sue's in on Facebook. Hey Sue. Hey Kip. Thank you very much for jumping in the comments and saying hello. Got a few people in Discord as well. So Discord's the place to be if you want to share your artwork. Joff's in Discord. Joff's in every single chat going. So wherever you're watching from, if you've got a question, Joff will answer it. Doesn't even matter if it's not related to what we're doing today. Doesn't matter if it's not related to drawing, Web3, anything like that. Any questions, Joff's in there to ask. So, Natalie can't hear anything either. We're going to stop and start it, so give us a few seconds and we'll get back into it.
Just brought you back up into Discord. Give that a go.
I'm already there.
See if that.
Hi Discord. Is that any better? Can you hear me? I'm going to wait. I'm going to keep on talking until somebody tells me they can hear me in Discord. If you can't hear me in Discord, I'll try changing mics, but it should be working. What do you reckon? It's amazing, like there was people in Discord all saying they couldn't hear me. As soon as I'm asking if they can hear me, nobody's saying anything. Still nothing. Right, hang on, Crypto.
No, Stu says still nothing.
Yeah, to be fair, if I'm asking and they can't hear me asking, then they don't know that I'm asking. What about that, chaps? Any better? OZ's typing. Come on, OZ, make it work.
And now they're not typing.
No, they're not typing.
So much pressure.
Can you hear me? Right, anybody else who's watching, we're normally a lot slicker than this. Weird. Right, hang on. gang in Discord, I'll be back in a few seconds. All right. I'm going to do my usual thing. Boomer 101. Let's turn it off and let's start again. Who's elsewhere on platforms that are actually working? Come in and say hello.
Ozzy said it's good on Facebook.
Yeah, well, there you go. So volume's working. It's Discord. Discord's a pain in the arse, isn't it? Considering we started this thing on Discord as well, didn't we? That was like the only place we broadcast, and then it was like, should we broadcast elsewhere?
Yeah, that was the problem. Discord
Yeah.
doesn't like it.
Discord doesn't like being friendly with other platforms, other social platforms. Yeah, cheers, Zoe. I see you now on Facebook. I'm going to go start the event again. Unless, Joff, have you already started? Let's draw, listen in. This is fun for you all, isn't it?
I haven't. Yeah, you should be.
Chucks me in the audience. It's like I'm not even that important in my own Discord. It should be. Yeah, it should be working. There's no reason why it shouldn't be working. Hey, Discord people. We're going to start. So anybody in Discord, if it doesn't work this time around, you're going to have to jump out of Discord and go somewhere else. Testing 1 2. Right, we're going to start. We're going to make a start. Hopefully, you guys in Discord are good. All the right buttons have been pressed. You can hear, but it's in and out. But maybe that's probably just the way I'm talking. Don't worry. Let me just change this. Going to try one more thing. There we go. That's the last thing I can try. If that's not working, then we're done on Discord. Should we start drawing? Because this is not entertaining stuff. Hey, Sue. Thanks, mate. Tracy says YouTube is good. Sue says Facebook is good. It's everything apart from Discord. Smooth.
Stu says it's smooth now. Or you're smooth.
Yeah, I think he's taking the piss there, isn't he? About how slick this is. We're like ITV on steroids. Should we just start drawing, Geoff? We're going to start drawing, okay, mate?
Yeah, go for it. You said no pencils.
No, mate. Pencils for losers. Yes. When I say pencils are for losers, obviously I don't mean that. If you're a pencil artist and you like using pencils, then you go for it. Crypto, you can't say that, mate. You just can't. It's 2025. You can't say that. I'm going to leave what Crypto said in the Discord. What happens in the Discord stays in the Discord. But yeah, pencils are for pencils. Pencils hold you back. Let's put it that way. Pencils hold you back. What happens with a pencil is you draw something with a pencil and your brain's always thinking, I can just rub this out if I go wrong. And then you just end up rubbing stuff out and you're going backwards all the time. Whereas if you do it with a pen, you're going to draw something with a pen, you're going to keep on moving forward all the time. It's going to force your brain to get it right first time. And the only way you learn that is by drawing with a pen. So that's why we're going to get straight in with a Sharpie today. Usual combo, fat pen, thin pen, yeah? So I'm going to use a Sharpie. Preferably one that's really old and knackered, stolen from the stationery cupboard at work. And what else are we going to use? Faber-Castell Pitt Artist Pen Fine Liner Black 199 ****. Nice catchy little name. Essentially any kind of little fine liner. It's a 0.1. We'll throw some little details in with that later. This is a magic combo. Fat pen, thin pen. Fat pen gets all your primary lines in there. Thin pen gets all your secondary lines in there. Are we ready to draw? Let's go and grab our fat pen first. We're going to draw. So one of the hey Jessica, one of the prompts in this month's drawing challenge. I've got a drawing prompt list called Sad June. Sad stands for socially acceptable doodles because we always draw something a little bit weird. This month, I thought we'd just draw some nice normal stuff. Might not be quite that normal today. But I think one of the prompts for today is sunshine and lollipops, which does make me a little bit sick in my mouth. But we'll give it a go. We'll see how we get on with it, shall we? And so we're going to draw this lollipop character. Now, I appreciate that a lot of people, maybe those of you in the US, will see a lollipop as like one of those round sweets on a stick. But in the UK, surely, in the UK, lollipop for me is like an ice lolly. So we're going to draw an ice lolly. So we're going to do a little bit of 3D in there, and yeah, just build it up step by step from the mouth, eyes, head, and then we're done. It's going to be a nice, easy one to do. So are you ready with this then? Let's talk in more drawing. Should we do it? Hi, Cuban. See you later, Cuban. Let's go and put in. Let's go and put in a. Let's put in the mouth first. So for this mouth, let's go for something like this. The only thing with this mouth is, as you get to the back of the mouth, just try and raise it up a little bit, like this. Raise it up a little bit. Come back there. And back in. And don't go too close to the bottom. I've gone quite close to the bottom. Maybe like a third of the way up. A touch higher than that would be ideal. But let's do that. The main thing is that line there. Just get that a little bit higher up. Also, don't go too close to the back here. We've got a few more bits and bobs to whack in just there as well. James, I'm not sure if I said hello to you, but thank you for joining, James. Whilst we're doing this, don't forget, if you see a like button or if you see a heart on screen or a share button or anything like that, just go and tap it a few times. If you're not drawing, you should be tapping that because that helps us a lot. Okay, rule number 1 in the Corp Academy is to double line everything we do. Double lining is not about making the line twice as thick, it's about making the line twice as wonky. So let's go over this bad boy one more time. Let's go over it like that, nice and loose. Wonky line. You're going to have some fat bits and some thin bits in there. Wonky lines are easier to draw, and I think they look much better. If you're one of those people that's got that perfectionist kind of attitude, thank you for that thumbs up. I saw that. If you're one of those people that's got like that perfectionist attitude and it stops you from doing anything because you need everything to be absolutely perfect, cheers again. This is the best way of getting around that, because instead of thinking, right, I want a perfectly smooth line, just go for I want a perfectly wonky line. So we're going to go for these perfect wonks. Let's go with that. Hey, probably stoned. You all right, mate? Holy smokes, I never catch these lives. Nice one. You're in, mate. And get started. Grab a Sharpie. Go and throw a mouth in. That's the mouth. Right, next bit. Let's get inside the mouth and then we'll get outside the mouth, okay? I reckon we'll throw the tongue in first because then we can position the teeth around the tongue. Tongue is just 2 lines from the back of the throat. Drop a little line down, then go back up that line and then drop another line down till you hit the bottom of the mouth. So back of the throat, just coming out of the back of the throat, flick off out of the back of the throat. Back up that line a little bit and then do another line, similar kind of curve. Double line it all, make it double wonky. Rule number 2 in the Corp Academy is to do strong intersections. An intersection is where 2 lines join each other in like a T-junction, like that. So you see this bit just here. That's an intersection. This bit just here, that's an intersection. Where those lines join each other, just thicken them off a bit. It's usually where the shadows live, so we usually go a little bit thicker in there. So go and whack that in. Once you've got the tongue in, go and whack in as many teeth as you want. What should we do with the teeth? Let's go for some, I don't know. Let's go with some teeth like that. Let's work our way back. Let's put a little triangular one in. Look at that. That's nice. Put one down the bottom. See how we're just fitting it around the tongue? We can even stick one in there. Just again, fitting it around the tongue. Double lining it, strong intersections, all the usual stuff. Will just make your artwork look a lot better. We'll finish off that mouth. See this line here? This line at the back of the mouth. We're going to do that, but on the other side of the character. So that will probably live around about here. Somewhere like that. What number rule is pencils of losers? I thought my entire community really understood pencils for losers, that it was a joke. And I remember doing a poll. This was before I started on the community that you're in, Tracy. I remember doing a poll on, I think it was on Instagram or something like that, and just asking only my community members what they thought about pencils are for losers. And I thought all of them would be like, oh, I'm absolutely cool with it. But it turned out quite a lot were a little bit upset by it. So I try not to use it too much now. But this is Let's Draw. Anything goes in Let's Draw. as Crypto Stews proved. Crypto Stews getting his Corp ASMR. I like that. Right, what should we do with the back of this mouth? Should we colour the back of the mouth in? Let's just go in this bit. You can either put in like some tonsils at the back if you want to freestyle it, or we can just colour this bit in. But yeah, like I say, Pencils are for Losers is just, I like to live in people's heads. I like the things that I say that help you draw better. Not necessarily better, that help make drawing more enjoyable and make it easier to get started. I like certain comments to live in your head. Now, if I just said don't use a pencil because it holds you back, nobody's going to remember that. Nobody gives a damn about that. But as soon as I say pencils for losers, people are shocked. So that's why I go with that. I hope you don't mind. Right. If anybody wants to share any in-progress shots as well, just upload them into Discord. That's the only place you can share your artwork, and that we can see it, and that we will share it on screen later. How's that looking for a mouth? We'll come back to that mouth. We'll add some more details around the teeth, but that's it for the mouth. Let's go and work on the eyes. Now, the reason we wanted this part of the mouth to kind of lump up quite high just there is because we're going to put a little kind of if your mouth's like that, you see that fat bit of skin that you've got there, we're going to draw that fat bit of skin, but then we're going to have the eye coming out of it. So rather than just putting a big old circle for an eye, we'll have it growing out of this top bit here. So let's go and put that fat bit of skin all the way around. Don't get too close to the edge here. That's important. Don't get too close to the edge. Woo, like something like that. Flick off. Look, I've done a really nice flick off just there, and then I've messed it up with this fat line just here. This is why I like dotting and dashing. Let's dot and dash that. If you dot and dash everywhere, it's going to look okay. Look, we can just join that in, make them all point towards each other, that kind of stuff. We will flick off a few little lines. Joff, that's looking good, mate. Every week, Joff's like, I'm the man in the chair. I'll keep an eye on all the comments. He's watching 5 different chats on 3 different computers. He's got a few different iPads going, stuff like that. Watching everything that's going on. All I ever see is that he's actually joining in with the drawing, which is good. It looks good, Joff. Well done, mate. Love the shape of that tooth. Tracy's got the right attitude. Yeah. So can I bring your comment in, Tracy? Let me see. Yes, I can. Nobody can see it, but there you go. Tracy just ignores me, which is always the best thing to do. Probably Stoned. What a legend. Are you talking about Joff? Joff, the dog in the chair. Okay, Joff's got his own set of rules. First rule, pencils are for losers. Second rule, just ignore Corp. That must be one of the rules that my kids learnt as well. They've got that rule. Should we go and stick an eye in? There's only 3 stages to this drawing. Mouth, eye, head. They're the only 3 stages for our primary lines. So we've done all of that. Let's go and put the eye in and get a move on, shall we? So let's go around here. See how it's growing out of that cheekbone? Just sits behind there quite nicely. Get around it again. Wonk it up. Fat lines. Go for some chunky lines. Yeah, Joff. Joff is holding it down. An absolute leg end. Right, let's what are we doing with that eye? That eye's good. Let's go and put the other eye in. Okay, so for the other eye, what we'll do is imagine, right, just this top lip. This is where the edge of the head's coming up, just there. So you've got an imaginary line at the edge of that lip, just there. So on the right-hand side of that, over here, we want to put in a little curve, like that. Little curve goes out and then back that way. Can you see that? I got a little spider walking across my picture. Gone. I had a spider walking across the picture the other day. I tried to brush it off and just smeared it. It was like a slaughter. Slaughter of the insects live on a stream. It was shocking. Jessica's from Fredericton. Hi, Jessica. NB. What's NB?
I'm going to say Nebraska.
Nebraska. Thanks,
I
John.
don't know if it is. I'm going to go for it.
Go on then, Jessica. Is NB Nebraska? Whilst Jessica's answering that important question, let's go and put in the other eyeball. So the other eyeball's going to grow out of this one. Look. So start about there, bulge it out, bring it in about there. Whoops, that's a wonky line. So go wonky with it. Strong intersections as it joins in there. Doesn't matter if that eye looks like it's chucking it. Just absolutely popping out of the head. That's quite a good thing. At the top and the bottom, though, let's just put a little flap of skin. So let's put one here. Look, just drop it down, flick back. At the top, drop it up, flick back. Add those strong intersections in there as well. Hey, Feed Me Parmo. Feed Me Parmo is joining us on Abstract. Hi, mate. Thank you for joining. Abstract, my what should we go? 5th biggest social platform now. New Brunswick. You'd never have got that, would you, Joff?
No, don't think I've ever even heard of it.
No, it's made up.
But then who's heard of Peterborough either?
That's true. Just so you know, Joff lives in Peterborough. I don't live in Peterborough anymore. I moved out. But yeah, Peterborough, one of the best places to live in the UK. Kind of.
Do you say moved out or do you say escaped?
yeah. Escaped is probably a little bit more accurate, isn't it? No, I used to love Peterborough. I was really proud of being born and bred in Peterborough. And then I moved to Stamford. I'm like, I quite like it here, actually. It's quite nice. Should we put on some more skin around the eyes? Let's carry on. This isn't a tourist show. So you know those little flicks that we've done across this eye, little flaps of skin just around the eye, just to hold it all in. Let's do one around there. Similar kind of thickness. So go like that. That's a double-ended flick off. You want it fat and wonky in the middle. Flicked off either end. Rule number 3. All your loose ends need to be flicked off. Tapered, thin ends. Hey, Wangman. Have we got that in? What about some pupils? Let's go and put some pupils in now. I'm going to have my character looking up. I'm going to keep the pupils nice and simple. Just 2 reflections. 2 reflections will make it look a little bit cuter. There's one. There's the other one reflection. A big reflection, a little reflection. Those different light sources. Go and throw those in. Going to have mine looking upwards because I'll draw something going upwards at the top in the end. Let's look at Joff. Joff's getting into X now. Anybody there?
Just spinning plates, isn't
it? You are the master plate spinner. Right, let's wrap this up. So eyes are done. Eyes are done. Let's wrap it up with the head shape. Now, with this head shape, it's just essentially it's a big upside down U. You want to go right quite close to the edge of the page over on this side, yeah? And as we get to the bottom, when we get to the bottom, you're going to go across here. As you go across here and up to this part of the lip, as you go across there, just add in some drips. Not in the middle, leave the middle blank, but add in some drips this side and some drips this side, okay? Let's do it, shall we? We're going to start on this eyebrow. Big curve, close to the edge, line across, loads of drips, okay? Let's do it. It's going to look like this. So, nice big curve all the way across. Get close to the edge over on this side. Little deviation, add a couple of drips. Let's put a big drip and a small drip. Go all the way to the other side. Let's put a drip there and then finally up to there. How cool is that line? Big old line, loads to do there. Let's just recap on what we did. Starting on the eyebrow, let's go all the way around that Jeff Bezos head. Bring it down the back. When you get to the bottom, move across, add those drips in. and eventually bring it back up and tuck it in under your bottom lip. Bonus points if this bit, where this bit comes in at the bottom lip, if it kind of points up to where you started, bonus points to you. Well done. And yeah, just a couple of lines, then we'll get on with the thin pen. Okay. Obviously, let's make it watertight. So to make it watertight, we've got this little gap here. Let's just bring that little line in. Make it watertight. Let's throw in a stick. You ready for the stick? I haven't got much space here, so just dangle out a little sausage shape down the bottom there for a stick. And then this next line is going to add this like 3D aspect to everything. Two lines, well, a couple of lines actually we're going to put in. One is we'll make it 3D around the stick, then we'll make it 3D around the lolly. So watch this. Look. Starting right at the bottom, in the middle of that curve. Follow that line up, like that. Look at how 3D that stick looks now. Simple technique. We're going to do the same over here. We'll start right at the top of that curve, and as we come down the side, just going to move further and further away. Drop it down. Have a little image of where you're going to end up down here. Let's go for it. So just starting there, just moving slowly away. Whatever thickness you've got at this stage is how thick your ice lolly is going to look. Bring it all the way down. Little curve across like that. In fact, I'm just gonna join all that like that. That looks a bit better. Double line it if you want, but you want to keep that line fairly thin. Strong intersections down the bottom there. See those intersections? You see with that drip, I had this like random drip just sticking out there. Tracy's not sure about this definition of less weird, more cute. No, me neither, mate. I think this is kind of a weird one, but this is my release. Oh man, I've got to do something about these so that we can actually see everybody's comments. There we go. Let's try that. There we go. Stones is loving the tiny stick. Yeah, look, it's trying to hold that ice lolly, that top heavy ice lolly. Right, last little few bits then. Let's quickly whack these in. Let's go and put in some round circles. Just find a gap. Put in some round circles. These are like little, I don't know, chewy bits that are on our ice lolly. I'm not going to put in too many because I'm going to shade in a lot of those, and that's going to take some time. Let's also go in with some drips. Little U shapes. So look at this. Let's put one in there. Little U shapes. Make sure the bottom of your U shape is nice and fat. Make sure the top of your U shape. Two rules for the top of the U shape. One is make sure they're tapered, so really skinny, flicked off. And the other is make sure one is higher than the other. It just always looks a little bit better like that. Let's put in a couple. Let's put one here. Just go and randomly put in some smaller ones all over the place. Joff says you went a bit wobbly on the last vertical. Going wobbly on the last vertical is fantastic, mate. Should we have a little look at Joff's work? Let's do it, shall we? It all looks good to me, mate. Thing is, we're doing an ice lolly as well, so it's meant to be a little bit wobbly. Absolutely perfect. Nice work, Joff. Right, where are we going with this one? Let's finish off with our fat pen. Go and grab your thin pen. We're just going to throw in a little few more details. So anytime you join Let's Draw, there's like 4 things you need. One is some stolen paper. We've all got our A4 stolen paper. Steal it from work. Sharpie. You're always going to need a Sharpie. You're always going to need a fine liner. Every now and then you'll need a pencil as well. As long as you've got those 4 things, you'll always be good to go. Right, I'm going to zoom in just a little tiny bit here, see if I can zoom in. Woo! And let's start at the top. You see that little chewy bit? With your fine liner, there's a couple of things we're going to do. One is we're going to draw a reflection in. Second is we're going to then hash out the shadow. So let's draw the reflection in just there, and then let's hash out this shadow with some little lines going down. Yeah, do that again. Do that until all those chewy bits that you've just added in. Drawing that reflection, top left, up in that like what 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock kind of spot. Drawing that reflection, and then hash out the rest. Look, big reflection, hash out the rest. If you do it loads of times, it's going to look great. Look how rough it is. There's nothing wrong with it being rough. Look how much better those little chewy balls look. In fact, let's just quickly get in with the Sharpie on those chewy balls now to drop shadow. Watch this. Let me zoom in again. Just in there, just go and add a little drop shadow. Okay, it just makes them pop out a little bit. Let's get the top. Let's do these ones at the top as well. Fat old drop shadow down there. Bigger the shadow, the more they're going to be popping out. Now how do they look? Look at them. Really popping out. The character looks like he's looking at these chewy bits in his head now. Stone says he does these tutorials while I'm at work. I was telling my co-worker, you said the best art is stolen. Best art is stolen art, and that's why I draw on the hour and use the printer to print it out, the activity. Mate, that's awesome. Yeah, when I first started out as an artist, I wasn't getting paid as an artist. I was working. Working in a proper job in an office, and every time I used to sneak off and do a little bit of drawing, it felt like I was getting paid to draw, and that was like as close as I felt to being a real artist back in the day. So yeah, definitely find those little opportunities while you're at work to steal a bit of time. They get enough from you. Why shouldn't you take a little bit from them? Work as hard as you get paid. That's what I always say. And if you're working hard, you deserve a little break. Right, we did those with the chewy bits. Let's just quickly whip in and do the same kind of thing with the eyes. We're not going to go quite as intense with the reflections. We'll just go and put in a little shadow down the bottom there, and then just quickly hash this all out. All we're doing is just whipping it all over the place, adding in these extra shadows. Let's put one in there. How are we doing for time? We're going to wrap up. We're half an hour deep. I like drawing stuff that only takes like half an hour, maybe an hour tops. Get started and finished within that amount of time. Feels really good. Let's get that thin line look and put a little thin line around the pupil. The pupil is a hole into your eyeball, isn't it? So by putting that little line around there, it just adds a little rim. We call that technique rimming. We do now anyway. Who's that? Pickles? Joff, is that Pickles? Look at this.
Yeah, that's Pickles, that one.
Wow. Pickles is like 4 years old. No, it's not. What are you, Pickles? Pickles is a bit older than that. Pickles is like 13, 14 years old. But look at that. That's astonishing. I wish I could draw that good. I was going to... Sorry, Cryptesty. I would say I wish I could have drawn like that when I was 13. But I'm pretty sure somebody will say you wish you could draw like that at the age I am now. But look at that, double wonky lines around the eyeballs. That is awesome. Nice fat lines around the shadows. So much good stuff going on there. All done with pencil, mate, as well. Legend. Don't listen to what Uncle Corp says about, pencils for losers. If you want to use a pencil, you bloody use a pencil. I don't care. Good for you, mate. Jessica never knew how to do shadows until I started watching you. I've got a couple of techniques. I've done one tutorial. One tutorial's got like 3 different ways of doing shadows. And they're just nice and easy techniques that I think most people miss out. Wow, I think Stone's talking about yours, Pickles. Pickles, you can't be finished, mate. It's finished already. It is incredible. Look at all these people. Pickles, can we do Doodle with Pickles next week? Pickles is gonna show us how to draw something. He probably would as well. Let's finish off this character because time's getting on. Where we're going to go now? Let's just quickly whip down into the teeth, into the tongue, into the stick, into the little stick, and get a few more little details thrown down in there. So let's get into the mouth. First thing we'll do in the mouth, let's make these teeth a little bit more 3D. The character is looking that way. So what we're going to do is we're going to drop in these little lines, look, with our thin pen. Look at how that makes the tooth looks like it looking that way as well. Let's do the same just there. And one more in there. It just makes all those teeth look that way. This one, because it's triangular tooth, take it from the tip, the point. Bring it out like that. You might want to put in a few little shadows if you think it needs it. Might not need it. I'm going to put them in. I'm knee deep in shadows now, so I may as well just put them in for the whole thing. There you go, little bits of shading. Look how good those teeth look now. Just throw in a little bit of graining, look. Just flick in some lines. One of the things, check out one of the beautiful technique that Pickles has got. I'm going to steal your technique, Pickles, because it's too good not to share. Is just adding a thicker black line around the base of the teeth. What it does is it will just send that tooth a little bit further backwards. It's something I do quite a lot with necks, but look, if we just take a line there, colour that bit in black, just thicken it out, look. See how it just sends those teeth back a little bit? And we can do the same there as well. It just sends them a little bit further back. Let's bring that out like that. That's nice. In a minute we'll show you Pickles' finished piece because he's got a nice little speech bubble. That's another thing to do. If you get a big old chunk of space and you don't know what to put in there, just whack in a speech bubble. It's a good opportunity to put in a little bit of humour in your artwork. Back into the tongue, let's go and put some taste buds on the tongue, some texture in the lollipop stick, and then we're done. So big U shapes, look, all over the place in there. For some nice taste buds. Oops. Make sure you've got some that are really touching the edge there. I think that's enough. Maybe have a few come in over on that bit as well. That looks nice. Ozzy, that's looking good. We'll take a little look at. Okay, so Joff's lined up the Pickles' finished piece, yeah. Insane, mate. Insane. You don't dare eat me. I'm not even vegan. What's it saying at the bottom there? I can't read that bit. 100% what? Can you read that? Answers on a postcard. Ooh.
Sorry, I was on a different computer. No, I can't make it out.
If anybody can read that, let me know what it says. That's looking good. Right, let's get down into the stick. I think Joff's going to tee up OZ's piece as well. Get down to the stick. There's two things we're going to do. The stick, let's go and shade out the side. Little lines going down the side. Make all of that dark.
It might be 100% genuine alien.
Yeah, that works.
What it is.
That's Pickles is talking about himself there.
Oh yeah, OZ confirmed it.
Nice. 100% genuine alien. Brilliant. Right, flicking those little lines for the wood down there in the stick, and then let's finish this off. Kind of happy with how that's looking. A nice clean little piece. You might want to put in some thinner U shapes, thinner drips all over the place. You might want to get out into the outside area and just put some ink splats. No rules, just put them in there. You might want to get down onto the outside here and put some lines going across. Doesn't have to be the whole thing, look, you can take breaks. You can barely see that, but that's right, it works. What else should we do? Let's put a few little bumps and let's flick off a few little lines around this mouth. Look at that, little flick there. Little flick there. Just manufacturing these little flicks with the thin pen. Just to give a few extra little creases, look. And that's the kind of thing you can do around the eyeballs as well. Just kind of manufacture some flicks. Look at that. Anytime you get a natural curve somewhere, just go and flick a bit out. Put one more in here. Now's the time if you want to drop any artwork into the Discord. We'll have a little look at that. Don't forget, if you want to support what we're doing, just head over to corpacademy.com. Let's draw. Plenty of opportunities to support what we're doing. One is you can donate on Abstract. Second is you can donate on Ko-fi as well, just to keep the show running. We've got some exciting merch launches coming up soon, so keep an eye out for those. Let's whip over to our next piece. Whose is this, Joff?
Good question. I think OZ's. Yeah, that's OZ.
Nice, OZ. That looks good. Thank you for using pens. A little bite taken out the top as well. That's a nice touch. I think you can put in a little bit more, that little tiny bit at the top there where the bite's taken out, a little line in there just to make it look like it's a bite and there's a bit more 3D. You can see the back of it, do you know what I mean? But that's looking solid. Love it. I like the fact that one pupil's smaller than the other as well. That's pretty cool. I can't put a bite in mine. I'd love to go and put a bite in mine because mine looks a bit too smooth. I think I'll just whack in a few little wrinkles across there while we're waiting. Joff's teed up our next piece. Let's have a look. Whose is this one?
That's my one.
Nice.
So I've done a few more details since that picture, but yeah, happy with that.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Loving the lip, loving the drips. Nice massive head. Nice little details around the pupils as well. Yeah, maybe I'm sure you flicked off around the eyes, but yeah, definitely flick off around the eyes. And yeah, a little bit of detail in the stick, and then we're good. Nice.
Yeah, I've just done the stick on this one.
Ah, right. Okay. Yeah, another thing you could do. So you know, we put those like little U shapes in for drips. You can put a W in as well. So if you just want to be a little bit more adventurous, you can go in with a little W shape for a nice drip, or you can just put in drips that are going all over the place. You can just go crazy with these drips. So yeah, always just go a little bit mad with them. See you later, Crypto. Thanks for joining in, mate. Who have we got next? Have we got any more to share? I think we've got, was that Tracy's? We're going to get Tracy's up on screen for you in a sec, and then we're going to cut.
There you go.
Beautiful. Thanks for joining in, Tracy. I'm loving the fact that you've cross-hatched out the edge of it. It looks so much more 3D than mine does. Taste buds look good. A little wobbly. Look at those wobbly drips down the bottom there. Gives a little bit of movement to it. I'd probably stick some movement lines around the outside of that just to make sure it looks like it's shivering or something like that. But yeah, beautiful work, mate. Let me just... so Tracy put in some little wobbly drips down the bottom. I'm going to put in some little wobbly drips as well. And then, yeah, let's make it look like it's shivering. Yeah, that kind of works. Let's put one up the top as well. Beautiful. Nice one. What is Jessica saying? I still say plushes who be awesome lol. Okay. Not entirely sure.
That's a reply to the merch.
Oh, okay. Oh, plushies would be awesome. Yeah. Okay. This is the problem with the comment.
I don't know if she thinks like a little plushy corp.
I've got a plushy corp worm somebody knitted for me. It's a bit big. Hang on. Let me show you. Oh my god. It's massive. I've got with this floppy corp worm ears.
That's really cool.
And it just, yeah. When I left it's got a dead spider on the eyeball. Ugh. Yeah, when I had a proper job and I left there, and a friend of mine who's a very talented knitter, she'll love it that I've called her a knitter, knitted that for me. I know the crochet police are going to get on me for that. It's crochet, really. Right, we're going to wrap up there, Joff. Is that okay, mate? I think we've seen everybody's on.
Yeah, I think that's all good. Yeah, there's no more. Oh no, wait, the Kipster's just shared one.
Okay, we've got one more that we're going to have a look at, and then we're going to wrap up. So main thing to take from this is that we come back. We're going to try and come back every week for the next few months, get ourselves on a good run. So yeah, share it around, let people know what we're doing. If you haven't had a chance to post your artwork in our Discord, feel free to go and share it on any social platform. Tag me, tag Joff. If you're on X especially, you've got Joff NFT. Tag one of us, tag Corp Dogs, use the hashtag Corp Dogs, and it will enable us to find it. And yeah, we'll give you a shout out and things like that. He's chilling out. Yeah, mate, chilling out. Cheers, Stoned. Thank you very much for joining in, mate. I hope you enjoyed that. We've got one last piece. Whose was this, mate?
Kipster.
Kipster. Solid work, Kipster. Absolutely solid. Yeah, looks like a mirror image of mine. I like that. I just whack on a few more little bits on the outside of that character, maybe even powerline it. But yeah, that's solid work. Nice. And maybe even stick some colour on. That's the kind of piece that, essentially that's all we're doing with these black and white drawings. We're just throwing on some, making our own colouring in sheets. So now you can go and spend another hour mucking around with that and adding on extra colours. Tracy's is pink. Awesome, Tracy. Make sure you share it with us, won't you? So we can see it. Okay, there you have it. Another Let's Draw. It's good to be back drawing with you all. Thank you very much for joining in. Thank you very much for anybody who's sharing what we're doing, sticking those thumbs up. Really appreciate it. We'll set up another event and we'll be back again next week for another Let's Draw. So remember, stolen paper, stolen Sharpie, stolen fine liner, and then bring a pencil if you want to be like the rest of us, be a pencil loser with us all. Let me finish on Kip saying 6 months on from my stroke, so chuffed. Kip, you're making us all really proud, mate. It's really humbling to know that this kind of drawing is helping you in your recovery, mate. So yeah, appreciate you sharing that with us. And yeah, Stoned, I'm glad you caught it. I hope you can catch us again next week. It's all about building confidence. It's not about building great artists. It's just about being confident in what you're producing. So yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed it, mate. Cheers, everybody. Yeah, we'll see you all next week. So take care, everyone, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.